Apple just released Xcode 27 at WWDC 26. This video will show you how to get started quickly with Xcode 27 by touring the workspace, creating new projects and files. I will show you how to bring your favorite agentic coding model from other AI providers to Xcode. Then we look at the device hub, allowing you to preview and evaluate your apps on real devices and also using a simulator. How to use the asset catalog in Xcode 27 is different, so we will look at it as well. Xcode 27 is now in beta, so to get started, you should log in to your Apple developer account by visiting developer.apple.com. On the top right, I have already signed in, so you log in to your Apple developer account and go to Downloads. First, you need to go to Operating Systems. Under Operating Systems, you need the latest version of macOS, which is now in beta. That is macOS Golden Gate. That is what we have over here. So you can download macOS 27 beta for Apple Silicon. Next, you should go to Applications and select Xcode 27 beta. That is also available on Apple Silicon. So let's go ahead and begin with Xcode 27 beta. In Xcode 27 beta, the launch screen is quite different. You can open a new project, clone one, or create a new one. For now, we have different options. You can create an app. You can create a command line tool, package. You can create a playground, which is just a Swift file. You can also choose from template. Let's begin with the playground. By creating a playground, you have a single Swift file, so we can update the code and see the changes right away. New in playground, we can use Apple Intelligence, so we can start a new AI chat by clicking this button. So the playground file we just created is playground.swift. Let's ask the coding agent how we can preview it using a simulator, because in Xcode 27 that is possible. So in this case, it is expected to add the preview macro so that we can preview the file using an iOS simulator. So if I scroll down, you can see here we have a response from the model. Instead of the playground output, I'll go to the generated code and copy this one and replace this one. Then I'm going to remove everything here. You have noticed here we have an option to preview on an iPhone device and several other simulators. We have several other options like taking a screenshot or choosing another simulator. So this is how to create a single Swift file or a playground in Xcode 27 and preview it on a simulator. The way you create an app in Xcode 27 has also changed. So let's go to File and select New and Project. When creating an app in Xcode 26, for example, you need to specify whether it is an iOS app, watchOS app, or visionOS app. However, in Xcode 27 beta, you have one option for iPhone, iPad, and Mac. So let's select that. In Xcode 26, once you create an iOS app, for example, you will have your content view, your main apps file for the entry point of the app, as well as the asset catalog. However, in Xcode 27, we only have the content view. So the entry point of the app is also embedded in the content view. We do not also have the assets catalog, so there is no way to add an image to this project. To do so, I will control-click here and select the option New File from Template. I'll scroll down and select the option Asset Catalog. Next, we have to name it, so let's leave it as Media and create it. So we can now go ahead and add an image to this project. In Xcode 26, we have these two buttons. This is the project navigator. Then we use the intelligence button to initiate a new chat. However, in Xcode 27, that has changed. The Sparkle button shows the history of all your AI chat conversations. To begin a new chat with the coding assistant in Xcode 27, you need to go to the center of the toolbar and click New Conversation. Once you create a couple of chats with the coding assistant, you will find all your conversations under this button. You have noticed here the coding assistant is GPT-5, so you can set the reasoning level to all these options. New in Xcode 27, you can also bring Gemini models. To do that, you should go to Settings and select the option Intelligence. So you have an option to add Cloud Agent, Codex, or Gemini. Xcode 27 also has several appearance and theming options. To theme the UI, you should go to Appearance Over here, you can choose system appearance, light or dark. With any of these options, you can choose your theme, for example, amber. Then you use all these settings to adjust it any way you want. You can set the color for comments and more. I'll go back again and change it to neon null. So you can use this slider to set the foreground intensity and also set the background. There are settings for fonts and the editor itself. Lastly, Xcode 27 has a device hub whereby you can test your apps and manage them on different devices. To launch the device hub, I'll first select a simulator. So let's choose, for example, iPhone 17 Pro Max for Xcode 27 and run the app. So this is launching the minimal version of the device hub. Over here, you can perform several actions. You can go to the home screen, take a screenshot, start a screen recording, or change the orientation. To use a different simulator, I'll go to the top right and click this button. That launches the full UI. And over here, we can select different simulator options. We can set the simulator by adjusting all these properties. For example, changing the appearance from light to dark, setting reduce motion, and more. We can also access the device hub by running the app on an actual iOS device. So we can, for example, go to the app and change the iOS simulator and select Amos iPhone. We can also go directly to the device hub. Over here, I have already connected my iPhone, so let's select that one. So anything I do on my phone now will be reflected here. I have now opened a different application. So this is everything I have for you in this video. I showed you the new workspace in Xcode 27. I show you how to create a new project and switch files. We dived into the different theming options as well as the device hub for previewing and testing your apps on simulators as well as actual iOS devices.